Last month, I made a video for you in this same spot and crossed out the word crash. Everyone said Seattle prices were falling apart, and instead, they actually went up. Well, the June numbers just landed, and this one is going to mess with your head just a little bit, but let's get into it because the headline says King County prices dropped 2.7% from last year. That sounds like some of the pessimists were finally right, except that's not the whole or the real story. Month to month, prices actually went up again, to the highest level we've seen actually all year. Mortgage rates came down and inventory just hit a new high for 2026. So let me show you what is really happening under the hood of the Seattle market and exactly what it means for you. Okay, the Northwest Multiple Listing Service released its June 2026 snapshot on July 2nd, and as always, I want to zero in on King County because the county numbers are what actually move your home value, not the statewide headline. So let me pull up the snapshot. Here's where we stand right now. Median home prices in King County is at $889,000. Now, the year-over-year number shows that is down about 2.7%, and I'll explain that in just a second because it is not what it looks like exact. Month over month, though, prices are actually up from $875,000 in May. Now, that's not a huge difference, but that is the second straight monthly climb, and it's the highest median we've seen actually all year. So active listings are at 7,405. That's up about 17% from a year ago, and it's the most inventory King County has had on the market in 2026. A year ago, there were about 6,300 homes available. Today, buyers have a real choice when they're looking. The new listings are at 4,165. Those all came on in June, and that's up about 5% from last year. So sellers are still showing up, just few less than in May, which is normal as we move into the summer deeper. Typically, we start to see the market slow down in July. So let's clear up that price number because this is the part that trips people up a lot. Year over year, the median is down 2.7%, but here's why. Last June was a peak. The market was running hot, absolutely hot a year ago. So we are comparing today against a very high watermark. When you look at the actual trend line this year, prices have climbed from around $859,000 in the spring to $889,000 now. That is not a falling market. And while it's maybe not the market we see most springs, that is a market grinding higher month after month. Now, here's the part almost nobody really expected. Mortgage rates actually came down, they lowered. After climbing all the way to 6.53% in May, the 30-year fixed eased back to 6.43% in June. Not a huge move and not there right now as I'm recording this, but it is going in the right direction for the first time in a bit. And demand did respond. Closed sales rose from May up to 2,183 homes. Buyers stepped off those sidelines as the summer market kicked in. Now, year over year, pending and closed sales are still down, pending about 10%, closed about 6%. So this is not a market that's running away. But month to month, more homes are actually closing, not fewer. Months of inventory sits at 3.39. A balanced market is anywhere from 4 to 6 months typically. So we're still technically in a seller's market, but we're holding right at that same spot near the edge of balance. That is the number that I keep watching for how to guide you best. All right, buyers, let's talk about your situation because there is real opportunity here. And this month, it actually got a little better for you. The opportunity is that you have 7,405 active listings to choose from. That is the most options King County has offered all year. You are not fighting over every house. You can take your time. You can tour a bunch of homes and be genuinely picky. Gone are the days of only seeing the first home on the first weekend and then having to choose. And rates just gave you a small break, easing to 6.43%. On a median price home, even a tenth of a point in that mortgage rate can help your monthly payment quite a lot. So pair that with this much inventory and you have leverage you did not have a few months ago. Leverage on price, on closing costs, on repairs even. But here's the honest part. Prices are climbing again and they're not falling. That $889,000 median is the highest of the year. So the strategy of waiting for some big price drop is getting riskier every single month that this goes up, and and you just want to be aware of that. So my advice has not really changed here. Get pre-approved now and know your real numbers and your budget. Then use the one thing you have plenty of right now, which is your choices. In a market where sellers have competition, a serious ready buyer truly has the upper hand, and we're seeing this with all of the clients that we work with right now. Now, sellers, this report is mostly good news, but there is a catch you can't ignore. The good news is your equity is intact, and if anything, it might be growing a little bit. So ignore the scary year-over-year headline that you might see. The real trend is that prices have climbed 2 months in a row, and they sit at the highest point of the year, which is good news. Buyers are still active, and closed sales actually went up from May, so more buyers. People are out there, and they're looking and they are buying. Here's the catch though. Inventory is at the highest level all year. That means buyers have many options, and they are comparing your home against every other home on the market that's in their price range. The old playbook that we saw during COVID of listing high and waiting for a frenzy absolutely not work in this market. If you overprice by even a few percent, your home sits, and a home that sits makes buyers assume something is wrong with it. So price it right from day one. Look at what has actually closed, not what's on the market, in your neighborhood in the last 60 days, not what your neighbor is hoping to get with their highly priced home. And invest in presentation. You have to have professional photos, you have to declutter or stage, and make sure that it looks good from the outside. When a buyer is weighing your home against a dozen others that are on the market, the one that shows the best is the one that gets the offer. Truly. Here's the bigger picture. Let me zoom out because there's a real pattern in these numbers right now. For months, every headline has tried to force this market into one of two boxes. Either it's crashing or it's booming. And every single month, the King County data has said the same quiet thing. Neither of those are happening. Prices dipped, then recovered, and now they're climbing again. Rates spiked, then eased. Inventory keeps building and values keep holding. That is definitely not a crash, and it's not a bubble. That is a market slowly, steadily finding its balance. More homes for more buyers to choose from. If you asked me 5 years ago, people would have begged for this moment. Steady, even rising values for sellers are showing up. A pace where both sides can actually think before they make one of the biggest decisions of their lives. The two numbers I'm watching into the late summer are going to be the same too: inventory and rates. If inventory keeps climbing towards 4 months of inventory, we are finally going to tip into a balanced market for the first time in many years. And that's across the board generally, not for specific types of homes. And if rates keep easing off that May high that we saw, demand could pick up fast. Right now, when I'm filming this, rates have not eased off, they've gone up. Either way, I'm always going to break it down for you right here next month. If you want all of these numbers in one clean, easy to read page, I put together a free one-page market update and you can download it. The link is in the description below. And if you're trying to figure out what this means for your specific home or your specific neighborhood, just reach out. I do this every single day with my team at Emerald Group, and I'm always happy to walk through your numbers with you. No pressure and no strings attached. If this helped, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. I break down the Seattle market every single month and put out real estate content every week, and I'd love to have you along. And drop me a comment. Now that rates are easing and inventory is at a new high, do you think prices keep climbing this summer, or does something finally cool off? I want to hear your take, and I'll see you in the next video.